Alright, now let's go ahead and solve replace employee ID with a unique identifier. In this problem, we're given two tables. The first one being employees, it has two columns, ID and name. And the second table is called employee uni, which stands for unique, basically. And the columns in this table are ID and unique ID. So what we need to do in this problem is we need to write a solution to show the unique ID of each user. And if a user does not have a unique ID, we just need to show null, which is a pretty good hint at the fact that we have to use left join. So example 1 shows us much more clearly what we need to do. So like I said, we have these two tables, the first one having ID and name, and the second one having ID and unique ID. If you notice in the ID column, we have the values 11, 90, and 3. And these values also appear in our employee unique table 3, 11, and 90. And so what we need to do is if an ID in our employees table appears in the ID column of our employee uni table, then we need to replace in our employees table the value at the ID column with either the corresponding unique ID for that ID that shows up in employee uni table, and if it doesn't, then we need to return null. So if you take a look at output, we notice that Alice and Bob, their IDs don't show in the employee uni table, so we put null instead. However, for Mir, Winston, and Jonathan, because their IDs show up in the employee uni table, we need to return their corresponding unique ID basically. And so that's basically the description of the problem. Let's go ahead and begin solving now. Owen, before we begin, do you need help bringing a digital idea to life? From designing to developing a website or an application, look no further than Evolve Consulting. We work fast, we're affordable, and we even offer free consultations. We'll get your app running in no time. So what are you waiting for? Reach us on LinkedIn or through any of the contacts on the screen. Alright, now let's get back to the video. So actually, before we start solving, I think it would be pretty good to just talk about what we're going to do to solve this problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a join to combine these two tables together from this combined table, which conceptually is going to contain the columns ID, name of the employees table combined with the ID and unique ID columns of the employee uni table. And from this combined table, what we're going to return are the unique ID column and the name column as demonstrated in our output right here. Now in SQL, when we want to join two tables together, typically we join them under a condition. And so the condition that we're going to merge our two tables together with is basically when the ID column of our employees table matches the ID column of our employee uni table. And the combined table, conceptually, what that would look like. First of all, that depends on which join we use, if we use left join or inner join, because when we use left join, like I said, the condition is that the value of ID column in the employees table needs to match the value of the ID column in the employee unique table. And so if you put 1 and 1 together, you notice that the row containing the value with an ID of 3 is going to be merged with this row. And the row with an ID value of 90 in our employees table is going to be merged with this row. And finally, the row with the ID value of 11 is going to be merged with this row. And if you notice, Alice and Bob, who have an ID of 1 and 7, their IDs don't exist in the employee uni table. And so if we were to join these two tables on an inner join, then Alice and Bob will disappear from our table because inner joins do not return null values. However, if we use left joins, left join will return null values. That's because what inner join does is it only combines what two tables have in common, whereas left join, or right join for that matter, will join your left table as is, and from the other table, it will only merge rows that exist in both tables. So with that out of the way, we can go ahead and begin coding now. The first thing I like to do is see what the output wants us to return. And like I said earlier, they want us to return the unique ID column from our employee uni table and the name column from our employee table. And obviously the way we're going to do that is we need to combine them. But because we need to return the unique ID column and the name column, that's what we're going to select. Now we need to consider where we're selecting them from. And remember, we're going to combine our tables, but we need to identify which table we're joining to which table. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to join our employee uni table to our employees table And so with the left join, that means we're going to leave our employees table as is. And so basically what we're going to do is we're going to select unique ID and name from our employees table. But when we use joins, we still need to specify from which table we're getting each column from, regardless if we join them. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to call our employees table E and our employee uni table, we can call this uni for unique. And going back to the select statement, I'm going to select our columns, but I'm going to refer to which table I got each column from. So now with that out of the way, we actually need to do the join statement. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a left join. Like I said earlier, we're going to join the employee uni table to our employee table on the condition that the ID column from the employees table is equal to the ID column from the employee uni table. And so that's basically the entire solution. Let's submit and see if it works. And before I submit, I just noticed that our employees table is actually called employees, not employee, and so this would give us a runtime error. We just need to fix the name of our table. So let's submit again and see if it works. Awesome. So that was replace employee ID with the unique identifier problem on LeetCode. I hope I made that problem a bit easier for you. I hope you understood it. And so I hope you found that video helpful, and thanks for watching.